Thank you very, very much for listening. This is my attempt. I think this is my 4th video on YouTube, so I'm definitely still learning, still trying to get the hang of this. So thank you for bearing with me. I just made a really lovely video and thought it was perfect and realized that my audio was just all wrong, I think beyond repair. So this is my 2nd attempt at a similar video. Anyway, thank you. Just really appreciate it that you're here. Okay, let's get into it. So the topic of this is, what does your relationship need or lack? And I have 3 pictures of a kind of like a beach scene with the words sit and stare, walk and talk, and race you. So we're just gonna look at your relationships and see what it might need or lack. And I do, I guess I preface this by saying I sometimes always default to just referring to the person and this is a guy, but that doesn't mean it's a guy at all. It doesn't mean you're a girl or you're not a girl inquiring about a guy. So I just want to make that clear, obviously, but I just default to that, and I almost can't help it. And when I try not to default to it, I say the word partner or person so much it's ridiculous. So sorry if that's my default. Sorry, not sorry, it's my default. Anyway, so, okay, the first pile we're gonna get into, and I've shuffled these really nicely, is picked this theme at the beach. I mean, I think it looks amazing. It's this hut that I think anyone would love to sit at. And let's see what sit and stare, let's see what that means. What about that called to you? And the question being, what does your relationship need or lack? But I'm also going to put a positive spin on this. I'm also going to bring out some beautiful points of your relationship as well. So, because I just think that's a really negative way of looking at it after I thought about it. Okay, enough talking. So here we go. Here's just a snapshot of your relationship. We've got, okay, so I won't be doing upside downs on this reading. So obviously the Lover's card is a beautiful card to have on a relationship spread, and the 10 of Cups, probably the 2nd best card you can have. And the 8 of Wands, not a bad card either. That's probably the heaviest card in here, but not bad. It makes me think of travel, movement, maybe like a period of change, but nothing heavy, considering this is basically the theme. So if I look at your relationship, I think it's beautiful. I think it is. I think it's solid. I think you guys are. You might be in a period of ever so slight transition, but I don't get that there's anything bad or negative or worrisome or heavy about that. But maybe there's a little bit of a, I don't know, like a new topic being breached or something different that's happening. But again, not bad, not at all heavy. I think there's a lot of love between you guys. I think you guys are positive. I think there's balance. I just get like a brightness, security, a trust, and then with this 10 of Cups, it just further instills the Lover card, and it just makes me think that there's a foundation for you guys. There's happiness. There's a family. That family could be the 2 of you and a dog. It could be you and your close friends. But I just get the sense of warmth and a little, with this 8 of Wands, there's definitely passion in this too. So maybe there's just a little something that you guys are going through right now, but nothing crazy. I mean, that's what relationships do. They definitely ebb and flow and have ups and downs. So I wouldn't even go so far as to say you're in a down, but even if you were headed that way, just slightly, it wouldn't even be an issue because you have a pretty solid thing going here. So I'm going to take another line to look at your relationship, just get another snapshot of it. And we've got the Five of Cups, Nine of Wands, Queen of Swords. I'm gonna say that, let me think about this Nine of Wands for a second. The most interesting card in this line to me is the Nine of Wands, and it does imply a bit of like resilience. Like maybe there was, and I don't want to say battle by any means, but I think that maybe there is, as beautiful and strong as your relationship is, there have been issues there is one issue maybe in particular that is rearing its ugly head. Nothing taken away from your strength, but there's always something, or if there hasn't been something, it's time for there to be something. I think that's just how relationships work. So another snapshot is, I think you guys are, I feel like you're actively working on your communication. I feel like both of you are strong communicators. I think one of you drives the communication home more than the other, but I definitely feel like you are strong communicators. But for one of you in particular, there's one of you is a very strong communicator, and like an eager to communicate, and kind of the driving force of the communication. I feel like one of you might be passion and one of you might be communication. And not to say the one that communicates isn't passionate, but I think that like the appeal of the communicator is that they are so communicative, and that I think can be very, very appealing and endearing. And I think that the person who brings the passion might communicate less, which can be frustrating. So there's definitely a trade-off there, and I think you guys kind of meet in the middle, because you can definitely, having a discussion, an argument, there's a lot of passion in that. It's a really good thing. So yes, that's what I get. And the Five of Cups is definitely, I don't know, it makes me think that whatever this issue is, it could stem from some kind of loss is an option, but like maybe a sadness, maybe a loss of some kind. And it could be something like maybe you wanted a certain home or apartment or dog. It could be that simple to more complicated, or it could be a lot more complicated, to not having things work out in regards to, like, I don't know, anything as heavy and intense as fertility, to just the loss of a person that's very close to you. But I do think that there is a little bit of a sadness, and I wouldn't say that is driving a wedge, or I wouldn't say that it will drive a wedge, but I could say that it is maybe actively wedging itself into your relationship. I have no reason to think that you won't totally get through whatever this is. I don't even think it's really that big of a deal, but it's there. But you guys are solid, and you've been through a lot. You know each other very well. You do communicate well. You could communicate better, but you do communicate quite well. And I think that this is just something you need to be aware of. And the topic of this is, what does your relationship lack, or what does it need? So far, and just thus far, I would say it does need the continuous strong communication, that positive outlook. It needs, I think it needs more looking into a positive future versus really revisiting the past. I just don't think that's a healthy direction for you guys. It's like you need something to kind of, you need a beautiful beach, you need beautiful scenery, you need to like look out on something beautiful and just kind of refresh things a little bit, like almost like a little bit of a reset button. And I think that maybe things have been really good and kind of like status quo between you guys for quite some time, and whatever this is, the fact that it's now becoming not so much an issue, but because it's here now, I do think that you are dealing with it. I'm gonna ask Spirit what your partner, what they really like about you, and I know I have to move this back. So this is something that you really bring to the relationship. And for this, we've got Five of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and Four of Cups. So the cups are definitely, they're emotional. I love the cups for relationship cards because there's just I don't know, I just think people who are vulnerable, who show emotion are really like some of the sexiest, most interesting people. And I think that relationships with at least one person who is that way are some of the strongest. I mean, passion is important and being grounded is important and, you know, being a great communicator is important, but there's something when the cups come up that I always think like, oh yeah, that's, maybe it's because personally that's my missing piece. Like maybe I know that I have the hardest time with the emotional connection part, and that's when I see the cups, I'm like, oh yes, you've got it. So as far as what you are really contributing or what's really appreciated about you, I see that you are you're loving. I think you're trusting. I think that you're level-headed. This is a card that I think universally this card can be like apathy, but I also think there's another energy here, and it's kind of that energy of like, you don't get too carried away. You really do know yourself. You know when you need to, you know, taper back, give more, give less. You don't seem like someone who would cry for attention, but you also don't seem like someone who would just hold everything back and sulk and pout indefinitely either. I think there's a part of you that is very aware and very emotionally just mature and evolved, but then you do have that like that loving, trusting, just good at relationships at your core piece to you. And the Five of Pentacles is a little bit heavier of a card. Not a fantastic card, like if we were doing a reading of finances, it's not a card you would want to see, but oh, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry, excuse me. It didn't happen. But it is if it's something that they love about you, then there's not a negative line here. And I think that you probably, there's a strength to you, there's a resilience. I think that you are, and I'm not just saying that you can stand alone because I see this lone tree trunk here, but to me, the Five of Pentacles, if it's not a good card, it can mean like poverty, loss, regret, bad decisions. Like it can mean so many negative things, but this is a positive line. And with that, I'm going to say you're resilient, and I think that you are also a planner, and I think that you probably have an ability to almost know how a situation is going to play out, and I think your partner really respects this about you. Like they will turn to you for this kind of like sixth sense as to like, in other words, if you bring up a topic and you feel like it's worth a good fight or a good argument, I feel like your partner is going to be like, okay, if this is important then. Or if you don't want to talk about something and you don't think it's worth getting worked up over, I also think your partner might not push it too much. I just think they know that you know yourself, you can read situations, you can read people so well that you're kind of you're like you're grounding the relationship in a lot of ways. And there's another word, I want to say totem, but that's really not it. I'm just thinking of like a strong pole, kind of like you are just the strength in a lot of ways. Like there's a force with you, and your partner knows this. So I think they defer to you a lot for kind of like the barometer of emotions that should be given and taken and received and felt. And I think they really like how you handle yourself emotionally. And that might sound very dry, but it's also quite sexy. I mean, you know, when I think about someone who's in charge of their emotions, I just think of like that person that can sit on the couch with someone and start a conversation of like a heavy subject matter, and then that conversation turns into like something so deep. It's just those little moments where you can turn like a conversation that you're having in the car with someone into like a next level understanding of a situation. And I don't know, those moments, that's like when you really click with your partner and you really get to see things very special. I think they see this in you. Let's see something that you really like about them. And so far we're not doing any lack, but we'll get a picture of that in the end here. We're just gonna keep it lighthearted. Okay, so something you really like about your partner. Heavy cards, but again, this is gonna have a positive spin. 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords, 5 of Wands. I think your partner handles conflict very well. I think they are level-headed. I don't think they aim to hurt. I think they can actually be very sharp with their tongue if they want to, but I think that they are I think they're level-headed is a word that really comes to mind, and not cruel, which is beautiful in someone. The 10 of Swords is, I wouldn't want the card for, if this wasn't a good line, I probably wouldn't want it, but it is kind of like, so the good meaning for the 10 of Swords, I think, would be that there's this ability to take almost anything in stride, to handle anything, to not lose oneself, to really just carry the torch, be strong, and just be steadfast, to not be just to not lose one's mind or their cool for that matter. And I get the feeling that your partner is you are the emotional piece here. They are definitely the thinker, the mental, they're mental, they're in their head, you're in your heart, and it definitely works when you guys come together. But I think you are wired very differently. And so the communication piece, I can't figure out if it comes from you or your partner. I think it might come more from, I don't know actually, if I'm not sure which one of you, but I feel like one of you comes hard with the communication, like let's talk, let's work through this, and I actually do think it's you, and because I think you are, like I said, so in touch with your emotions and so willing to breach different topics that really always end well. But I think your partner really comes with the fire and the passion, and you're there too with that, you reciprocate it, you're all into it, but I think that they have this fiery side to them. And I think you guys really work. I wouldn't say you're opposites in every way. You guys are both passionate. You're both very expressive in your own way, but you definitely have a different way of expressing yourself. Okay, so let's see something that this relationship is lacking. Let's see what it's lacking or what it needs. 3 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, and the Chariot. I'm gonna put the Chariot here because I think first and foremost, your relationship might be lacking a direction, and not in a bad way. Like, you guys you're solid, but I think there's an element of where are we really going with this? And actually the 3 of Wands, and for me even the 7 of Pentacles, but the 3 of Wands really backs this up. The 3 of Wands to me is it's a looking out, it's a scanning a horizon, it's a foresight is a word that they give to this card quite a bit. But there's a sense of what's on the horizon for me, what's next. And I think you can look at these wands as, let's say they're in this lava flow here, because they're essentially fire. They're not going to burn up. But they're just kind of navigating this flow of lava. There's just this, where are they going to wind up? Where are they going? Good, bad, otherwise. I mean, what's in it for them? And there's 3 of them doing this. So I get the sense you're not alone trying to navigate this. I think you are doing it together. I think it's something you're starting to talk about and think about. But I think there needs to be some action backing this up. Not necessarily less talk, more action, but more talk, more action. I think it really needs to, something tells me that whatever sadness or loss, it might have left you guys, maybe focusing so much on that aspect or treading so lightly at times around certain topics that you might have just lost your direction or your path. But I think you guys are going, I think you're moving in the same direction. I think you have I think you're plugged into each other. I think you're consciously wanting to do this together, but and that's what the Chariot shows me. But the Chariot's also it takes work. So the Chariot's this like ever moving. There's momentum behind it, but you need to continue that momentum. You need to work at it. I get the impression that although you are moving, I think that you need to talk a lot about, you just need to communicate more, and you need to figure out a topic of communication could be like, where do we see ourselves in a year or 2 years, 5 years? Like, where exactly is this going? And with the Seven of Pentacles, it tracks for me too, because this is kind of like planting those seeds, watching them grow, making those investments, investing in each other, investing in your future, investing in your time, your words, your energies. I think you really need to figure out your path. So if your relationship to me is lacking anything, that lack, and it's really less of what it lacks and more of what it just needs, is it does need that directional piece, and you're ready for it. I mean, this isn't something you would want to bring up, on your second date. But it is something that your relationship needs. And I think, this could go for people who have been together a long time. It doesn't mean you're living together. It doesn't mean you're married. You can still be dating for years and not know where your relationship's headed. Or you could be dating for like a couple months and be like, is this really, like, what is this? What are we doing? Like, where is this going? Do we see ourselves together? Are we really in this? Like, what? We've dealt with a lot. We've been through quite a bit together. We've shared a lot of emotion and words and energy between the two of us. Like, really, where is this headed? So, I think it lacks that there's a question mark there. And I actually see positive things for you guys. And once you have that talk and figure that out. And I think there could absolutely be a follow-up reading to this. But let's get back to sit and stare. So I feel like with sit and stare, because this is interesting, it doesn't right off the bat sound like it makes sense to me. But when I think about it, it's like, I feel like you guys need to literally like pick a night and plant yourselves down and just have the talk and like really think on this, like really come together and almost like meditate on what are we doing? And I don't think the question is, are we going to be together? I just think it's like, what do we want this to look like? What shape is this going to take? And if you guys were on the beach together, I think that's what you would find yourself doing. Like, instead of just walking down the beach, ambling together, I think you would find yourself like literally sitting down, staring at the water and being like, okay, let's talk real life. Like, let's talk logistics. What are we doing? What does this look like? How is this happening? Let's get down to it. And I think that's a really fun and exciting place to be. And I think both of you are on the same page. So yeah, please have that talk. Sit down, stare out on whatever you're staring at. It can be the street below, it could be a field, it could be a fire, but sit down together and talk and have that talk and continue your momentum. I think you guys are doing great. But yeah, and good. Please, if this worked out for you, if it talked to you, which I hope it did, leave a comment. That'd be helpful. But yeah, just please tune back in. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Just given my cards a really hearty shuffle, and I'm here to do a reading for walk and talk. This is my favorite picture of the beach. If I were to pick a picture, for some reason, this one would speak to me the most. And it's interesting because last year the race year would have really come to me, and this year it's definitely the walk and talk. Like, I just, wherever that is, that's where I want to be. And I want to be there with someone that I care about and love and have good conversation with, and I just want to walk and talk right there on that beach. So maybe we're on the same page here. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to do a first line, and this is going to be Just like the first line is going to be a snapshot of your relationship. One you are inquiring about. Okay, so we have Seven of Swords. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. And when I think about this, when I think of the Six of Wands, I think of transition, I think of movement, I think of action, I think of I don't know, I think of kind of like almost like a standing your ground kind of situation. I'm trying to think of how this would all go together for me. With the Seven of Swords, I guess because if I look at, this is a tricky snapshot of a relationship. Sorry, I just lost my mind and went somewhere totally different. Because this isn't an overly like warm and fuzzy first line, I guess is a way of putting it. It's kind of like, it's disconnected to me. This is a card of being grounded, of wanting to be grounded, of kind of like really feeling that career, home, relationship, possessions are important, and those are the things that make up a a solid foundation for a relationship. But then when I look at these other cards, I'm kind of left thinking like, oh, what is this? And I did actually get the Six of Wands confused with, with another card. The Six of Wands to me is more of like there's like a recognition, there's someone, and I can see the Rider-Waite-Smith picture of like a man on a horse, and there is a sense of being almost adored, but it's a card of recognition. There's an interesting aspect to that card though, where you're not supposed to know if the man on the horse is happy or if the people in the crowd looking up at him aren't necessarily happy. Like, is it good that he's being recognized? Is it bad? So that's an interesting question mark around that. And then the Seven of Swords is like an aspect of leaving, which I find to be interesting here. I think your relationship right now is, I think there's someone that holds the cards. I think there's someone that has a little more control. They're in a higher, maybe financially, they're in a better place. Maybe they live the home that you, maybe they own the home that you live in or spend a lot of time in. There's just an element here of imbalance. And I'm sorry, I've really struggled with this first line because it's not overly positive. I think we can totally correct this and I can see it more clearly, but as a first line, I'm just trying to understand it a little bit. Okay, so I will move on from this. I'm sorry that I spent too long on this, but I think let's say, I think you've actually been considering maybe leaving this relationship, which is not something I see very often, but I think that you are probably questioning if this is the right relationship for you. I think you might find your partner to be a little bit, I want to say controlling, I want to say maybe pushing an agenda one way or the other, like maybe they want you to have a different job, maybe they want you to work more, they want you to work less, maybe they want you to contribute more. I'm not sure, but there's a tension here, and I think it does revolve around somehow, for me, there's an element of finances, and I think that this person, your partner, possibly a guy, I think that maybe they think very highly of themselves, let's put it that way. I think you really like them too, quite a bit. I think you really like them. I think there's a lot to like about this person. I think they check a lot of the boxes, but I do think that they have an ego or maybe an inflated sense of self. And it's not to say they aren't wonderful and probably have a lot of right to think they're pretty great, but for whatever reason, I just don't think that they've been treating you as good as they should. I'm not getting the sense that this is like, toxic or anything like that. And that's not even the kind of reading that this is. This is a lot more fun and lighthearted, but this is probably the heaviest it's going to get. But let's take another snapshot because there's going to be, something good coming up, I'm sure of it. So another snapshot of your relationship. Okay. I'm gonna go, so we've got Ace of Cups, Seven of Cups, and then we have the Death card. The Death card does not ever, for all intents and purposes, it does not mean death. So please, I actually like the Death card. The Death card to me is like new beginnings, a fresh start, out with the old, in with the new. There's something to me very like enlightening and beautiful about the Death card, and I like it because this deck does make the Death card look hopeful. It's kind of like just like she's been swirled up in this pixie dust and everything's just going to start fresh again. So that's what I get out of the Death card, and you should too. That's where this reading is going. I use this deck for its like fun, for its fun aspect. And the Seven of Cups is there's magic to it. There's definitely a sense of someone who can, who is, I want to say, a little more connected spiritually. And then the Ace of Cups are the emotions and feelings. So for me, the snapshot of your relationship, this is you. And I think that you really do, you bring a lot to the relationship. You bring a lot of the emotion. You bring a lot of the love, the kindness, the softness, the element that keeps it interesting. I think up here, the relationship could feel like a chore or a job at times. And I just feel like you come through with this mystical kind of whimsy that makes it very tolerable and fun. And I definitely think your partner appreciates this and needs this, but it might be taxing for you to be this way all the time, because you, although your partner has quite a bit of the passion and is quite likable in very, very many ways, I think that you really, you are the one that is always softening the edges. And yeah, that can be hard. And I think you've actually already thought to yourself, you know, is this the right, is this, again, up here with the Seven of Swords, which is you thinking like, am I really in this? Is this really right? This could be you saying like, I might need to cut out. I really, I just think you're right on the brink of trying to figure out if this is the right relationship for you. So let's do a couple more lines and see what we've got here, because so far I do get passion. I don't know if I'm getting overwhelming love. I don't know if you guys are in love. It's not to say you're not. I just don't know that I'm feeling that. I think if you are, yeah, you absolutely could be. And somehow this feels like more of a fresh relationship. It feels like you're really, feels like you're trying to figure things out, or maybe you've been together a long time and it just hasn't progressed, and you're starting to realize like we've been together way too long to have it feel like we're still trying to figure out you know, this person's ego. Like, this should have been sorted through on month 3. Like, why is this a thing? And maybe the passion part of your relationship was the driving force. Maybe that was what kept you guys together as long as you are, and you're realizing now like there's more, there's got to be a little bit more to it, another layer. So let's see for another layer. I'm going to switch things up from other readings that I've done about this, and I'm going to see something that you really, let's see a good quality about your partner. So this is going to be good things about your partner, what he brings to the table. So yeah, this tracks completely with who I thought he was. Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and Four of Swords. Let's start with the Queen of Wands and Pentacles. The Queen is, to me, the Queen is an energy of, you know, the Queen is just below the King, and let's say intensity. The King would be like the absolute pinnacle of that suit, whereas the Queen is still, I mean, bringing 90% of the suit's energy. So he is that intensely passionate person. He knows himself, he knows his passion, but also work. He's work. I won't say he's all work and no play. I do get the impression he actually plays quite hard, but I think that he's definitely a work hard, play hard person. He definitely works hard, and I think he's very no nonsense when it comes to work. I think that work can be something that he appears to care more about than anything else on this planet. Work and making money. I think that's probably already, you've seen glimpses of that, and it's probably stressful and sad. But this person does have passion. That passion, though, can be fiery, it can be temperamental, it can be more ego. I think that you have a creative side, and I think that's going to come out when I do a line about you, and you guys might kind of creatively, not fight, but there might be like this almost like competition for who's more creative. And I know that's a weird thing to imagine, but if that does track, you'll understand it. Because you guys, I don't get the impression that he's an artist, although he might be. I haven't thought about it really. But let's say he is an artist and you're very creative, then there might be this kind of like competition where it's his livelihood and you just happen to be gifted. And something like that makes me think that actually could be the case. And if not an artist, I mean, there's so many different kinds of artists, and it could even be like, you know, someone who there's a creative aspect to his work, whatever that is, that he owns and dominates, and you know might give the impression that you could do his job better than him at times. So yeah, I think in some ways he might be threatened of you, and I think it might cause for a little bit of a bitterness, if that sounds right. I think that it's exhausting. Yeah, I think he can be exhausting. I think he can be a lot to deal with. I also think this is what attracted you to him in the first place. So I'm not saying that this isn't for you and that you guys don't totally work, but I'm somewhat exhausted by him. And you know why? Because I know him. I know this person. This is someone that I would be innately attracted to. I understand this smart, creative, possibly more creative than he is smart, but all the same successful, on a path, on a trajectory. And there is that, you know, there is that ego that is like, it's appealing, that glint in the eye, that chip on the shoulder, like there is something quite sexy about it. And you with your kind of watery emotions is almost too much for him at times, but I think he wishes he could be more like that. And I think he knows that you could cut out at any time. I'm not saying you could in the sense that you don't care, you're detached, but I think that you know you will do, both of you know you'll do what's best for you. And that's your top priority, as it should be. So yeah, down here, it just further instills that he is, it's really his show. It's your guy's show, or your girl's show. It's all about them, which I don't think you mind. Quite frankly, I think that might make you even more attracted to him. I think that's okay. They just have to check their ego, especially if they think they're competing with you. That's ridiculous. Okay, so let me find something about you that this person loves. Okay. So you're a ray of sunshine in a way. You're heavy, you're deep, you're spiritual, but you're not easy breezy in the sense that you've got depth, you've got a weight to you. You definitely look within. I think you're definitely someone who can like spend a whole day in your thoughts and not talk to anyone. I think you're someone that if you aren't religious or you don't quote unquote meditate, you have your own spiritual path that you're on, and whether you meditate at night with your eyes closed before you fall asleep, laying down, which is like what they tell you how you shouldn't meditate, that's how I meditate. Maybe that's how you meditate too. Like you're on this path. I think you're very good at self-love. I think you really do love yourself, and I think you know that you're in a lot of ways all you need. And I'm not saying that like about this relationship, like you don't need him, you're all you need. I think forever till the end of time, you know that you've just got you. You're your own best friend, and you love yourself the most, and that's so cool and so beautiful. And yeah, this person definitely knows it. But you're strong, and this, even though there aren't wands or fire up here necessarily, there's still a lot of passion up here. There's a lot of there's just passion, and this is fire. Temperance is a fire card. And this is your solar plexus. Like this is, you know, this is carnal, like fiery urge, but it's also you just like balancing and healing and like lighting your own little internal fire and just, I don't know, just doing you, but on so many levels. I love the Hermit. I think we just need more hermits in this day and age. It's that quiet, soulful, internal, and it's your own light. You guide you. I really like this. I like the colors in this card. I like the feeling about it, and I would be happy if I got the Hermit card for myself. And the Chariot card also tells me like you're so on your own mission. You go your own way. You do exactly what you need to do, and again, you will cut out whenever you need to. I really hope you don't, if this is a relationship you like, but you know, they know that you will only stay as long as it truly, truly serves you. And they love this about you. This is what they really, really love about you. It's that confidence, and it's not even like you can pinpoint where it came from. It's just who you are. Like this person can pinpoint their confidence probably because they're successful, they're good at something. They can point to it and be like, I did that, I made that, I earned that. Whereas you are just more like, just in your own skin. There's just there's an element of like, yeah, just strength and light. Okay, so let me pull up, let me think. I'm gonna pull up what's something you guys need to work on. What can you work on together? Yeah, let's see what you can work on. We've got, oh good, I haven't seen the Tower in a while, so I'm happy to see it. Oh, we've got the Devil, the Five of Swords. So I'm really glad that we painted this with a pot. What can you work on? Because this is, I mean, you couldn't ask for 3 worse cards. Under any premise, this is it. This is as bad as it gets. But the question was, what can you work on? And I'm gonna say, you can work on, being good to each other, not hurting each other. You can work on sticking around, not cutting out, not letting things necessarily crumble and devolve so quickly. You can work on maybe feeling a little bit more pain, because I do think that you're so quick to self-heal and self-nurture that maybe you don't stick around enough. Maybe, and I get this, and saying this out loud it's kind of, there's an element of me in this, and I hope that I can communicate this well, because I think you are someone that you can just brush off an argument or something that's really intense to someone else, because you can say to yourself, you know what, like, I'm gonna be fine, like, I'll get through this, I'll be fine. And sure, you'll be fine, but maybe if you just sat with it a little bit and allowed yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable, then I think you could connect a little bit more and win this person over and kind of somehow penetrate them a little bit more. I think this person is still, I think they have some armor up. I think they have deep insecurities. And I really think that you being so all-knowing and set and knowing yourself so well, I think makes this person actually probably insecure and makes them feel like they have more to prove. So yeah, what you need to work on is also he, they, she, whomever. I think they need to play a little more fair. I think they need to be kinder, a little more gentle. I think both of you might say or do things that aren't, I don't want to say you're fighting dirty, but I think it could go in that direction and you really don't want it to. So yeah, just work on not ever being the devil, not ever bringing the devil out in your partner, not abandoning, not ghosting, not piecing out, and just really communicating fair and kindly and open and honestly. And whether you stay together or not, if you play by these rules, it's not going to be hell on earth one way or the other. You're going to be fine. You'll be fine no matter what. We know that. And you know, they'll probably be fine too, because these kind of people always land on top. Unless they're doing horrible things and karma catches up with them somehow, they always land on their feet. They're always going to be adored. They're always going to find the right crowd to, you know, kind of idolize them or look up to them. And you're going to be fine too. But I think together you guys have a really nice combination, a nice balance. I like it. But yeah, you just need to just treat each other better. And again, never try to bring out the devil. Never try to make your partner jealous or spiteful. Just avoid that at all costs, because there's a lot of passion in both of you, but it's a different kind of passion. And I think that it could get ugly. But I don't think it's going to. So yeah, that's it. So, okay, what does your relationship lack or need? I think it needs a softer approach from both of you. I think it needs, even if you're communicating, even if the emotions are there, I think you need to be softer. You need to be more open. I think you need to be kinder, more gentle. I think you need more time taken together, and more like, and here we go, walk and talk, because that's what you do. You guys literally need to hold hands and walk down that beach together. That's what you need to do. You need to take it slow, or you need to slow down. Your lives are moving fast. Everything's just whirling around you. Slow down, go for a walk and talk, and just be kind, keep things simple, enjoy the beauty around you. And if you can, I mean, maybe you do take a vacation or a trip. I don't know if you're gonna make it to that beach. That would be awesome, but I don't know, maybe you will. But go somewhere and just walk and talk, or sit and have a glass of wine and talk, or something like that. But be kind, be sweet to each other, be loving, and yeah, thank you so much. If you got this, if it felt right, please leave a comment. That would be really exciting for me. So thank you so much. Goodbye. So this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. I deeply appreciate it. I've had so much fun doing these readings. This is my, I think, third or fourth video I've made. I shouldn't lose track. I can still count on one hand how many I've made, and I can probably count on one hand how many people have watched them, but I hope that all changes. I'm really in this to do it for a long time, and I hope with every video, just everything gets better. The audio, the lighting, you name it. So yeah, I am not new to tarot. It's a true passion of mine. It's something I enjoy so much, and yeah, being able to read for people on YouTube in this way, initially I was like, that's crazy, how does that work? But it does work, and if these videos speak to you, then it works, and you don't even have to overthink it. It's just, it works. Take the message and enjoy it for what it is, because it's there for you. So this picture is a boardwalk, or not a boardwalk, not a boardwalk, a walk to a beach, to a cove, to the ocean. I haven't been on this picture before, but I remember going on vacation in oh my gosh, I cannot remember the name of that place. Oh my goodness. Hilton Head. And I just feel like I was on one of these that was this to a T, and I feel like I've been on this exact place, and I loved it. So yeah, the title's Race to You, and let's see why you picked this and why it speaks to your relationship right now. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to pull some cards to give a snapshot of your relationship. Okay. So we have the Seven of Swords, the Six of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. So as a snapshot, I'm going to say, hold on here. It's interesting, and I was just going to pause it and reshuffle, but I'm not going to. I'm almost positive this is the first line that came up in the last reading. I just spent 5 minutes shuffling these cards. So if you happen to watch the last reading and you're like, that's the exact same card, I don't know how to explain it. but it must apply somehow to your relationship too. But let me think about it and try not to give it the exact same theme, because this is different. So just give me a second here to think about how this is different. So I'm going to say a snapshot of your relationship is there might be an aspect of both of you kind of, there might be an aspect of you guys competing for recognition, I get a sense of competition. And it could be, it could be healthy. It might be what attracted you guys each other in the first place. You both could be, but yeah, you could be in the similar line of work. But somehow there's some element of competition here. Again, I don't know if it's bad or not. It might spur your passion. It might be a source of your attraction to one another. But definitely competition. I feel like you guys are both early in a career or early in a company, new, or one of you at least is new to some line of career, and somehow maybe the other has been in this career for a while, and the other one's jealous of that, or I'm getting a jealousy and a competition. The Seven of Swords, and I'm not sure its place here yet. I think we'll get it. This is kind of like almost like a fleeing away in the night kind of feeling. There's a sense of like escape or making a break for it, something like that. And I'm not sure what this is. If we go back to competition or career, it could be that you guys are both trying very hard to accomplish something, to get somewhere. And there's a sense of competition around that. I need another line here, I'm sorry. And I'm still thrown off that it's like almost exactly from, okay. Let's see here. So we've got the Knight of Wands, the Two of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. And none of these cards came up in the last reading, just FYI. So another snapshot of your relationship is, I think you guys, there's a conflict with you guys. And I think it is actually, quite frankly, I think it is the source of your passion, but it has an edge to it. There's a darkness to it. I think you absolutely need to keep this in check. I don't know if you guys are both, let's say, very successful or very attractive, there's something about you guys that I feel like you're competing for the way people treat you. You're competing for attention, you're competing for recognition, you're competing for a sense of adornment. I think you guys are both passionate, creative people. I think you're coming into this kind of creative space, and maybe you're doing it together. But there is a tension here. And I definitely get that work and making money right now is an absolute focus for you guys. And I feel like this is something new, whether you're doing this together, there's something new about this venture of sorts. And if you've been in this role for a long time, maybe there's like a new account of some kind or a new client, or maybe there's just a whole new job, career, earning potential that you see yourself all of a sudden faced with. But I get that there's something together for both of you. This is consuming for both of you for some reason. And the Two of Swords, we're going to go with for this. It's like, this is a decision card. And we could say so much about what you could be making a decision on or contemplating, but there is something surrounding this energy of money, competition, recognition, that is causing, I think you guys are like, you're at odds about this. It isn't a secret that this is a source of stress and tension. Whether you're talking about it or not right now, I don't know. But there is definitely something, And let's get more of this, because this Two of Swords, it makes me think there is a decision. Like either one or both of you are like, are we going to do this? Like, are we in this or not? Like, and there's something about both of you where I don't think either one of you have tremendous staying power. I think you're sticking this out probably longer than both of you thought you ever would. And you're here now, you're in it, but you just don't almost know why. But I know why. It's because you guys are similar. I feel like you guys are cut from the same cloth, you two. You are very similar. I'm not getting anything about like opposites attract. There's a lot of passion, there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of movement. I think you guys live very busy lives. I think you live exciting lives. I get the feeling that there isn't a lot of time for things that are important, like maybe sitting down and enjoying a meal together, talking over a glass of wine, whatever that is. I feel like you're too focused on work and making money and achieving some level of success. And again, I'm going to say competition, and that's so funny because I just realized the title of this is Race You. And Race You is something you would say to someone that you have a healthy competitive spirit with. So that is interesting. I want to get one more line about your relationship because there's something funny about this, and I can't put my finger on it. It's like, I don't know, let's get one more line. You're the only picture that I did three relationship lines on, but I just want to understand more of you guys and your dynamic, because it's quite frankly, it's fascinating. And it's fun. There's something fun about it, although I don't know that you're necessarily having a ton of fun at the moment, but it's there. Okay, so another snapshot, 2 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, Strength. Okay, so this is a lot, and actually everything here so far is quite positive, but this is an interesting one, and I think it is positive mainly because of the 4 of Wands. To me this is unity. This is like a returning home kind of thing. There's something about this that makes me think like there is a very positive vibe to your guys' relationship, but it does involve other people. I think you really like being adorned. I think there's something where you love going out together, you love being seen together, you love being the couple that you are, you love the recognition you get. You're kind of this like, whether you're a power couple or whether you're just recognized, there is an element of that definitely feeds your relationship. Again, with Strength, I'm going to see that there is a little bit of a battle here, and there's a give and a take. There's a push and a pull. There's, one step forward, 2 steps back. There's definitely a battle with you guys. But it's fun and you guys love it. But it's a juggling act. So with the 2 of Pentacles, you're balancing, quite frankly, your life, your love life, your sanity, your work, your earnings. Like everything is being balanced. Every aspect of your relationship is in this state of like give and take, push and pull. There's this conflict, but you guys this works for you. This would not work for me. I don't think this would work for many people, but it really does work for you. I can see there being an expiration date on this or not. Or you two will go on to like, make a TV show together or have a reality show and 15 years later, you're still doing it. So there isn't anything that I'm getting that's like toxic or negative about this. But yeah, we'll do more to find out what your relationship is actually lacking or what it needs, because that is the point of this reading. But very, very interesting snapshot. And I will say, I've never gotten this kind of a vibe off of a relationship before. And I'm going to say, I like it. I dig it. I think you guys have something, again, not for me, not for everyone. I think you guys are younger. And if you're not younger, you're so passionate about what you're doing work-wise that it makes you feel young. You've like, abandoned everything and you're doing it. You're all in on something. And, yeah. I mean, and this could even be like in a crazy way, it could be like remodeling a home or building a home, like just something, although I think it's bigger than that, but okay, forget I said that. Okay, let's see what this person loves about you. What do you bring to the table here? Okay, so this, the devil, I like the devil card. I like the devil card and I like the death card. And the tower, those are like supposed to be the three worst cards, and I like them all because they're all about like power and, oh my gosh, just intensity and good, bad, and otherwise. You're just like this magical creature. You are so charismatic. You are multifaceted. You have a dark side to you, but that dark side is just pure sex and appeal. You're strong, you're confident. I think you are emotional, and I think you have a temper, and I think you can be very hasty, but I think that you're powerful, you know yourself, and even if you like, you're confident, let's put it that way. I do see there are some insecurities here. I do think there's a part of you that overcompensates and tries very hard to prove yourself in certain ways, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you aren't confident, because you are. There's a fire to you. You've got a fight in you. You are. Yeah, I mean, you're just a ball of energy, and this ball of energy that is you is any artist, anyone who is a passionate person would be so drawn to this. This is like what people want to be. If you could be this and also be successful and not be a shitty person, you're everything. Like, you are just magic. You can make anyone putty in your palm because you can win them over with good and evil, or not evil, but like the good and the bad, you know, the dark side and the light side, but in a good way. Everything's positive. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's what is loved about you, and this is really what you bring to the table. What isn't here necessarily is a softness, or an over-the-top kindness, or even that you are like a great communicator, or that you even act like you ever give a fuck. None of that is here. But that doesn't mean you aren't that person. But this is what this person really likes about you, which also could be taken, you like that this person likes this about you. However, I hope this person sees more in you. And this card would imply that they do. This card would imply that they really see all your sides. They see your magic, they see your beauty, they see your good, bad, and otherwise. And I really, really do hope that they see this, because that's what I get from this card. Otherwise, there's just, but this card could also be taken as like, you can be a trickster, you can be cunning, you can be sly, you can be manipulative. But I don't want that to be this card. I want it to be that they do see the true goodness in you. But honestly, this is for you to determine. I can't determine or say what side of you this person sees in this card, but it's one or the other. And if it's I don't remember if it was even the former or the latter at this point, but if it's the side of you that is, let's say, cunning, which is one of those words that we all want to have an element, a small piece of in us, but we don't want to be overly cunning, because there's no warmth in that. There's not really longevity in that, not in the way that you should want. So yeah, let's hope that this person sees you for really this like sexy, carnal, amazing, beautiful, hedonistic person who's also kind, spiritual, open, for better and worse, all the good and all the bad. Okay, and let's see something let's see a good quality in this person. That is, I really do love this reading. I feel like I know you guys. I feel like I am friends with you guys. I feel like you as a couple drive me absolutely crazy, but then also I'm like, oh my gosh, look at them go. Like they're insane. I just equal parts love and hate you guys, in all the right ways. So, okay, what do you really love about your partner? Okay, we've got the High Priestess, Seven of Wands, Ace of Wands. You definitely, I mean, your partner is like, they are, they're like almost like, wouldn't say they're like split down the middle. They're multifaceted, and they are, they're like a mystery. They're two conflicts. They're two walking contradictions, quite frankly, because I think they have a side to them that is very actually spiritual and kind of mystical and almost all-knowing, but yet they're too busy being a douche to ever show that. You see it. They barely know it's there, but it is. And I think you love that this is something you can really hopefully develop in them, because it is there, and they are going to have to come around and soften. And I never thought of the word douche until now, but yes, this person is douchey, and you might be a little douchey too, and together I think you guys are just the douchiest. But I really love you guys for that, because I think you're fun, and I think you're good. You're a lot of things. And no offense by that word whatsoever. I mean it in a very sweet way, and I would probably say it to your face and mean it in a nice way. But yeah, I think you see something in your partner that is not everyone sees, and not everyone sees because he probably doesn't want people to see it. He might think that it's a weakness, but it's not. It's a strength, and it is appealing. I think that they are also like, they're strong. They're not as flippant as they appear to be. I think that they really will stick things out. They really want, I think they do have staying power beyond what anyone else might think. I think they have convictions. I think they really do want to do the right thing. I actually think they are and I'm going to use the word convictions again, because I think they have more convictions than anyone realizes, than even they realize. This is kind of like, I think, a line, it's like a secret line that only you see in them, and this really does draw you to them. And I think they have maturing to do, and they will be more of this person. And now that I see that you see this in them, you are the kind version of this card. This is what they love about you. They really do love that there is this mysterious depth to you that is kind, and good, and everything. They see all the good in you, all the bad, all the feistiness, but they see a lot of good in you. Yes, and in turn, you definitely see their strengths, and it's not what they're showing to the world. But they are passionate. They are doers. They are movers and thinkers. Like, this person that you really like is always going to be moving. They're always going to be doing something. They're always going to be looking for that hit of attention. And I think, quite frankly, they're going to have it. Like, this isn't someone that's going to move to like the woods and like fish and go to the local store once a month. Like, this is someone that wants to be seen and who's setting their life up to be seen. And that's okay, because I think you're there too. And I've kind of forgotten about the competitive side, because we've gotten a little bit more into like what's driving you guys to stay together and to do this. But I do think the competition it's friendly, and it's everything. If you're not with this competitive person, you're going to be with another competitive person, or someone that you feel that competition with, because I think it's what it drives you. And you're both at a point where you want to be driven, you want to be pushed, you want to succeed, and that really speaks to who you are. So I think this is a good place to stop, but I really like it for your reading. And it is funny because you picked Race You, and the other pictures were like romantic walks on the beach and like sitting and meditating and really like meditating on your relationship and where it's going and what you want out of it. But those weren't that's not you guys. You are the Race You. Like, you are the couple that's going to be like, I don't know, like doing handstands on the beach and like seeing who can hold it the longest, or the couple to see who gets more likes on their Instagram or whatever. And I don't even know if I'm saying things that are like so dumb, but you get the idea. There is a healthy sense of competitive spirit, but I think there is passion. I want you guys to develop a little bit more of a softness, and I want you to work more on like your your love. The love is here, but it's showing up in ways that it's showing up, you know, like through it, like your love language. Let's say this, your love language, I feel like is healthy competition. That is, I think that's your love language. There's nothing wrong with that. I think a love language for the most part is good, but I want to see more softness, more connection outside of work related, or a connection that no one else sees, a connection just for the two of you, that you're not going to benefit from, that no one else is going to be able to compliment you on, but just something more, stuff that just the two of you guys share. So yeah, if that's what I say your relationship is lacking, or what it needs more privacy. It needs you guys to just find something else that you love. And I'm trying to find a way to explain something without using the word competition. But yeah, I think I've said enough. And if you have any questions, you can absolutely leave a comment. But I like this for you guys. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. I think you guys are going places. And I think the race you is just perfectly apropos, and I love it for you. So great. Thank you so much. Please tune in. There'll be more readings to come, like tomorrow. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day or night. Bye.